new study in the Journal of Medical Internet Research shows how Rutgers Health is examining why many patients continue using popular weight loss medications, even when they experience uncomfortable side effects. Researchers found that people who lose weight on the drug are motivated to continue taking the drug. To break down the findings is lead author Abanoub J. Armanious, who is a researcher and graduate student at the Rutgers School of Public Health. We say good morning, Abanoub.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you on. And yeah, it's funny because everyone said, do you know how to pronounce his first name? A friend of mine is a Coptic Orthodox, and he always talks about Saint Abanoub. So I'm like that person who knows how to pronounce your name, right? Who's Medican, as we would say. So I have to ask, and full disclosure, I'm on a GLP-1. I've been on Ozempic for about 9 months because I was pre-diabetic. And because I used to be 356 pounds many years ago, had a gastric bypass. I just want to put it out there as we do the interview. So I am one of those people who's experienced the side effects. And exactly what your study found applies to me because there are nasty side effects. But once I saw the additional weight loss, I said, hey, I'll deal with it. Is that what you've discovered in that study?
Yeah, of course. And we've seen this with a population of online medication reviews. And we saw it specifically, I'm not sure which one you are taking, but we saw it specifically with Ozempic, and specifically those that were taking Ozempic for off-label use and weight loss. We saw about 2/3 of the population that we studied did experience some sort of reduction, either in appetite, weight, or just general cravings. And that an associated also 2/3 found that they also experience some sort of nausea, vomiting, or constipation that you may have experienced as well.
Yeah, and for those that don't realize, because I've had people ask me, when we go on the drug, if we're a little constipated, we'll just take laxative. It doesn't work like that. This is not for those who don't realize. I'm sorry to get a little graphic, a little bit. This is not regular constipation. This is your entire alimentary canal from beginning to end being frozen. So, right, you don't have, it's like if I think I could do that to my hand. And if I think I need to go, sorry, but you can make yourself. When you're on this drug, you think it, you want to, but you can't control it. So that's why I know that many surgeons, if you're going to undergo anesthesia now, they make you get off a GLP-1 for a couple of weeks because they're worried about potentially not being able to swallow using your autonomic nervous system, correct?
Yeah, we've seen with Ozempic specifically, we've seen that individuals are reporting that it makes them feel full sooner, stay full for longer periods of time, and just overall reduce the hunger sensation that they may experience on a regular basis. And so that may be associated with, the weight loss and the chronic weight management that individuals are looking for in this medication, in addition maybe to a potential type 2 diabetes indication or diagnosis that they may have.
So here's a question that Abanoub. In this study, is it strictly the side effect of the drug? In other words, it makes me nauseous, ergo I will eat less, ergo I will lose weight. Or does the peptide GLP-1 itself change the way your body treats glucose and absorbs it or excretes it?
Yeah, so that's a little bit hard for us to investigate with our current study because we collect the data at a single point in time. And so we're not able to assess predictors per se. We can understand what is strongly associated with the chronic weight management that individuals are looking for. We do, however, know that Ozempic, similarly to Wegovy, which are two semaglutides manufactured by Novo Nordisk, they, as I said, they make individuals feel full while also reducing overall hunger. The way it works is that it is a single peptide that targets a single receptor by mimicking a hormone that overall kind of regulates that process. And so that's kind of the evidence that we had going into it.
And for the record, yes, I'm actually on Ozempic. I'm on the baby dose, and I'm 6'3", and a big guy on the 0.50, the 50 dose, which is the starter dose. It goes 50, 1.0, and then 2.0. I don't know how people get to 2.0 because at 0.5, I am never I mean, never hungry. I force myself to have a certain amount of protein every day because I don't want the Ozempic face. I don't want the wasting. A lot of people get muscle wasting, and I exercise. You have to work out. You have to eat your protein. Too many people I know on Ozempic just don't eat, and then they end up gaunt. That's not healthy. That's just as unhealthy as being a little overweight, right? How many people were in this study, and how long did you conduct it?
Yeah, of course. So there's we of course it was again an online medication review collection process. We collected a total of 78 reviews from February 2023 all the way to June 2023. So kind of at the peak of the what we call quote unquote Ozempic craze. And so we then went into the thematic analysis process, which very simply means that we try to find recurring ideas and themes across those 78 reviews. Our analytical sample consisted of mainly just 60 reviews because that's when we reached thematic saturation, which basically means we did not find any new information and there was no need to go further and analyze the rest of the sample.
Yeah. It is amazing though that I mean I had lost weight probably 120 pounds with gastric bypass years ago, kept it off. And then to get from like 230 down to 210, 215, I did intermittent fasting, worked phenomenally, kept that off. And at 215,
Yeah.
my blood sugar levels were right at the edge, which is why technically to prevent getting into type 2 diabetes, that's why I went on it. And that was my doctor's suggestion, and it did control my blood sugars beautifully. But then I dropped another I'm sorry, 35. I'm doing the math. 35 pounds to like 180, and I've been locked at 180 since. I could try to eat anything. I will not gain an ounce as long as I'm on this. So, are you finding that people does? I mean, how much does it change the game? Because this was originally a type 2 diabetic drug that's now being prescribed probably 10 to 1 for weight loss.
Yeah, and it's still being prescribed for diabetes. Ozempic is not FDA approved for chronic weight management. Its sister with Novo Nordisk, as I mentioned before, Wegovy, is approved for chronic weight management, and with that, there comes higher doses that are able to be, prescribed. And so that's what makes our study so special is that we're looking at individuals that were specifically taking Ozempic and explicitly, using it for off-label use for chronic weight
Gotcha.
management. And so that's kind of
Gotcha.
why it's so interesting to get those trends out of this specific data population.
We're down to about 10 seconds. What's a website that people can read the study in more detail? This is fascinating.
Yeah, of course, they can visit the journal itself, the Journal of Medical Internet Research, and you could just search up patient perceptions of Ozempic using for weight loss.
Good deal. Abanoub J. Armanious, researcher and graduate student at the Rutgers School of Public Health. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You bet.